Folks, NFL draft was last night, and all the talk is about Shedeur Sanders not being drafted in the first round after you had these different narratives being formed about him being difficult, prima donna, things along those lines. One anonymous assistant coach trashing him. Is lots of talk all over. Of course, the second night of the draft happens tonight. And I want to talk about this, Matt, because, I mean, here's the thing. This is what I find to be real interesting. You have these people sitting there going, oh, Shedeur and his dad is an influence. I remember a certain white former NFL quarterback.
With my last name.
Who?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And I remember one of the sons was named Eli. And I remember the dad making it clear to a team, do not draft my son. We are not playing there. But Archie Manning was called shrewd. But then you look at how they say things about Deion Sanders. Is there something missing here that we don't quite see?
I don't know. Maybe we do see it. Maybe it's the clearest thing we see, Roland, perhaps. In terms of what we see, that's precisely what it is. It's clear as day. You know, it's funny. Right before I came on to the show, I saw somebody had posted this exact thing, talking about Archie, Eli, and Peyton. And in full candor, I don't remember his comments at the time. But one thing that the person said that I thought was really astute is they said a lot of the people that are on these teams now as assistant coaches and various management and executives are people who played in the NFL when Deion ran all over them and they couldn't stop him on the field. And they're still salty about it because the same primetime who was, you know, a singular force back then is now supporting his son as such a, you know, proud black man and unapologetic black man. And there's a lot of pushback on that, frankly. And, you know, it's interesting that you say this because this is not obviously the same thing. He wasn't an athlete, or at least not as far as I know to the same level. But when I saw LeVar Ball, I remember all the pushback on LeVar Ball. And I remember thinking, like, what parent isn't going to be out there advocating for their kid, you know, extraordinarily? So here, this is a lot of things at play. Obviously, race is one of the biggest factors of it. And the other thing is Deion's unapologetic. Right. And if you think about it, think about what Dan Lanning said when Colorado was winning. I mean, just the way he talked to even another coach before they played Oregon, he dogged him out. And he said everything he could in that locker room without pointing to Deion and saying his name directly in terms of, oh, this is a team where we work. This is a team where we do whatever thing, you know, discounting Colorado and its success at the time. So I think a lot of that phenomenon is present here with Shedeur Sanders, and clearly Archie and his people get a completely different license to do what any parent with this kind of caliber and background would do. But that's all it is. It's the thing we see clearest that's behind this and behind the judgment that the Sanders are getting.
I was really cracking up, Michael, to people saying, well, you know, we get Shedeur, he's not going to be listening to the coach, he's going to be listening to his dad. Was Peyton listening to his dad? Was Peyton Manning asking his dad for advice? I mean, if you're Peyton Manning and your dad spent a number of years in the NFL as a starting quarterback and you're now a starting quarterback in the NFL, you might have a few questions for your dad.
Well, absolutely. And Deion Sanders is a Super Bowl champion. The man played 2 sports. So, of course, Shedeur Sanders is going to listen to his father. But one
Super Bowl champion, 2 sports, and has a gold jacket. No.
Yeah.
Super Bowl champion, played 2 sports.
Right.
Is considered the greatest defensive back in NFL history and has a gold jacket. I'm just saying, if I'm going to listen to somebody, I might listen to the person with a gold jacket.
But since Deion Sanders is also a college football coach, one of the things he'll probably tell his son is listen to the coach also. Because I doubt that he would tell his son to disrespect the coach. But so this is just a double standard when you have we saw something similar like this in Hollywood, and I can't remember who it was, but it was a well-known black actor who had helped his daughter or son or something like that get a job, get an acting job or something like that. Something people said nepotism, but then when there's white people that do the same damn thing, is they're building a legacy. Okay, so I mean, come on, get as much money as you can from these people, and I hope he's successful. But yeah, Deion Sanders knows how to play this game, and he's going to teach his sons how to play the game and how to play the game to win as well. Get as much money as you can.
And Deion touted his son being a top 5 draft pick. Obviously, that did not happen. And people are now saying, well, will he go in the 2nd round? Will he go in the 3rd round? His brother Shiloh joked, man, they doing this to you, what they going to do to me? Both of them got a huge laugh out of that. But here's the thing. John Randall, of course, who played for the Minnesota Vikings, posted a video. He said, you don't have to be drafted to get one of these, him wearing his gold jacket. He was not drafted. And there's a guy who Shedeur Sanders talks a lot with, who probably is telling him, don't worry about where you get drafted, it's how you perform. There's a guy named Tom Brady, who was a 6th round draft pick, who now is considered the greatest quarterback to ever play the NFL.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Roland, I'm glad you highlighted that point, because that's the point I was going to add to Matt and Michael. That's part of the narrative that they don't want to include, how Coach Prime connected his son with Tom Brady. Right? That's the other part of that narrative, Roland, that they're not discussing about, how Tom Brady is influencing the last 2 years of Shedeur. And if you look at the last 2 years, I'm just talking about the last 2 years, the number of records Shedeur has not only broke, but the football player of the year, right? He went from one college to another college. And so this part of this narrative around Shedeur, they're not highlighting that point about Tom Brady. Because once you highlight that point that you just highlighted, now you got to say, well, Tom Brady didn't go in the 1st round. Tom Brady didn't go in the 2nd round. And so this is, again, a double standard, as it was already brought out by Matt and Michael. The last point I would make is this, Roland. I want to hear somebody talk about the nepotism of Donald Trump and how he's allowing his children to enrich themselves on taxpayers. Let's talk about that. That's a different kind of politics that doesn't involve in throwing a football, but it negatively impacts millions of people. If we draw that parallel of what's happening on the football field to what's happening in the United States, they don't want that narrative to be discussed.
Well, first of all, if you want to talk about nepotism in the NFL, all you can do is look at the coaches, where sons and uncles and just they get jobs so easy, and black coaches don't. So, bottom line is, I think Shedeur Sanders, and look, he's going to play the NFL. He's going to be a great quarterback, and you're going to have haters. What they also cannot stand is they cannot stand black confidence. They absolutely cannot. They can't stand it. And I guess to some degree, some of these white coaches can't stand what they may want to call black privilege because of how he grew up. Well, guess what? Suck it up. And here's the deal. Not all Deion's sons can play. His son, Deion Sanders Jr., he's the video guy. He's the social media guy. He's not there playing. So that's how it is. So just people just need to understand that these things happen. Look, the NFL, you're going to have these white coaches, these white executives. They do this all the time, the whisper campaign, and it effectively knocked him out of the 1st round. The bottom line, I think he gets drafted.
Hello, I'm Isaac Hayes III, founder and CEO of Fanbase. Listen to what I'm about to tell you. The window to invest in Fanbase is closing. We've raised over $10.6 million of our $17 million goal. That means there's room for less than 6,370 people to invest in Fanbase for the average amount. The minimum to invest in Fanbase right now is $399. That makes you an owner in Fanbase today. Go to startengine.com/fanbase to invest. Why? Because current social apps have taken advantage of users for far too long, with content suppression, shadow banning, harmful racist content, and no real tools for monetization and equity. Fanbase has over 1.4 million users and counting, allowing anyone to reach all their following and monetize their content from day one. Social media is the new TV, and whoever owns the apps that distribute that content have the opportunity to own potential billion-dollar companies. While big platforms with uncertain futures are failing to serve their users, Fanbase is stepping up to fill the gap. Don't wait until it's too late. Invest now, invest for yourself and your future. Go to startengine.com/fanbase and own the next generation of social media.